Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text number 19. Sakranmana Krishna Padara Vindayor Niveshitat Gunatragiyar Iha Nateyamam Pashavrutascha Tadbhatha Swapnepi Pashyanti Hichirna Nishkrita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although not having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto His lotus feet and have become attracted to His name, form, qualities, and pastimes are completely freed from all sinful reactions, for they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamaraja or his order carriers, who are equipped with the ropes to bind the sinful. Purport. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me, I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. The same principle is described here. Sakran mana Krishna padara vindayoho. If by studying Bhagavad Gita one decides to surrender to Krishna, he is immediately freed from all sinful reactions. It is also significant that Shukadeva Goswami, having several times repeated the words Vasudeva Parayana and Narayana Parayana, finally says Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Thus he indicates that Krishna is the origin of both Narayana and Vasudeva. Even though Narayana and Vasudeva are not different from Krishna, simply by surrendering to Krishna, one fully surrenders to all his expansions such as Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram nanyat, there is no truth superior to me. There are many names and forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is the supreme form. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Therefore, Krishna recommends to neophyte devotees that one should surrender unto him only, Mamekam. Because neophyte devotees cannot understand what the form of Narayana, Vasudeva, and Govinda are, Krishna directly says, Mamekam. Herein, this is also supported by the word Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Narayana does not speak personally, but Krishna or Vasudeva does, as in Bhagavad Gita, for example. Therefore, to follow the direction of Bhagavad Gita means to surrender unto Krishna, and to surrender in this way is the highest perfection of Bhakti Yoga. Parikshit Maharaj had inquired from Shukadeva Goswami how one can be saved from falling into various conditions of hellish life. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami answers, the soul who has surrendered to Krishna certainly cannot go to Naraka, hellish existence. To say nothing of going there, even in his dreams, he does not see Yamaraja or his order carriers who are able to take one there. In other words, if one wants to save himself from the falling into Naraka, hellish life, he should fully surrender to Krishna. The word Sukrit is significant because it indicates that if one sincerely surrenders to Krishna once, he is saved even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful activities. Therefore, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Apiche suduracharo bhajante mamananya bhag sadureva samantavyaha samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. If one never for a moment forgets Krishna, he is safe even if by chance he falls down by committing sinful acts. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Neha bhikarma nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate salpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. One who performs auspicious activity is never overcome by evil. The highest kalyana, auspicious activity, is to surrender to Krishna. That is the only path by which to save oneself from falling down to hellish life. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has confirmed this as follows. Kaivalya narakayate tridasha pura akasha pushpayate durdhantendriya kala sarpa patali prokthat damstrayate vishwam purna sukhayate vidhi mahendradischa khitayate yat karunya Kataksha vaibhavatam tam gauram eva stumaha. The sinful actions of one who has surrendered unto Krishna are compared to a snake with its poison fangs removed. Rotkata damstrayate. Such a snake is no longer to be feared. Of course, one should not commit sinful activities on the strength of having surrendered to Krishna. However, even if one has surrendered to Krishna, happens to do something sinful because of his former habits, such sinful actions no longer have a destructive effect. Therefore, one should adhere to the lotus feet of Krishna very tightly and serve him under the direction of the spiritual master. Thus, in all conditions, one will be akuto bhayam, free from fear. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So very beautiful purport and very beautiful and important message for the entire mankind. We see these days a lot of people talk about learning Bhagavad Gita, teaching Bhagavad Gita in the schools, colleges. So what is Bhagavad Gita is saying? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Bhagavad Gita is clearly giving an important message that you are suffering because of your sinful reactions, your sinful activities of the past. That is the reason you are suffering. And if you want to end the suffering, then you should surrender to Krishna. Otherwise, adho gacchanti tamasaha. Then one has to go to Narakaloka and suffer. But unfortunately, the modern propagators of Bhagavad Gita want to selectively take some portion of the Bhagavad Gita where it helps them to keep peace of mind and some kind of focus, some kind of material happiness, some kind of good moral and ethical principles, some kind of principles for the society at large. This is what is in general people think Bhagavad Gita is meant for. For them, Prabhupada has told, this is called Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya. Prabhupada has told this for the Mayavadis as well as the materialistic people who accept the scriptures only the portions which they like. How is that Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya? There was one hen. This hen was giving every day an egg. So the man who is owning that hen could actually make a lot of money by selling the eggs. So, but that hen which was giving every day one egg used to eat a lot. So much he has to feed that hen. So one day this wise man thought, the back portion of the hen is very profitable, but the front portion of the hen is a big loss for me. So he thought and he decided, let me cut the hen, the front portion, and throw it away. I'll keep only the back portion so that I can every day can get one egg. It's called Ardha Kukkuti Nyaya. So he did that. Then finally he neither had the chicken nor he had the eggs. That is very foolish proposal to cut the hen which is every day giving egg. So now you take a principle from Bhagavad Gita which is suits your understanding of life. Be a good person, work hard, earn more money, be very peaceful, help poor people, follow some principles in life so that whole society is peaceful, you are happy, your neighbor is also happy, your boss is also happy in the company, your family is also happy. Very nice instructions, very good things. But what is the crux of the Bhagavad Gita? You have punarjanma, you have to take birth again. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi. Dehantara prapti will happen to you. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. What consciousness you leave this body, you will achieve that in the next life. If you do not surrender to Krishna, then you have sinful reactions. Only if you do sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, then aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Then I will relieve you from all the sinful reactions. Similarly, many people like Bhagavata stories. Oh, stories from Bhagavatam. They tell Swamiji, very nice, you should tell this to children. Not for them. They want us to narrate this story to children. So children enjoy some stories. But what is the purport of the message? The purport of Bhagavatam? It is said, Nate yamam pasha bhrutascha tad bhatan. You will see Yamapasha. What happens to me at the time when I am leaving my body? This is the reality. This is not some imagination. If you are accepting the literatures, you should accept in toto. You should accept fully. So scriptures are telling what happens to you. So please be mindful of this. Otherwise, you have to suffer. Krishna will not suffer. Guru will not suffer. You have to suffer. You have to suffer for your own doing. Don't know what journey you have done in the past. So many karmic activities which has done in the past, that has made you to take birth in particular time and particular place with the particular circumstances, and you are meant to complete those karmic activities and finish all karma and get detached from this material world so that you can go back to Krishna. So, therefore, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining very vividly and clearly what are different sufferings are waiting for the what kind of actions we do. Different hellish planets, Narakalokas, and how the things happen there. Now, what is the solution for this? If I take some prayaschita for something, again I will continue to do. Just like people go, they lead a very, very unregulated life. Once in a year they go wellness center, take detoxification, come back, and again they continue their unregulated life. Atonement is like that. Though Prabhupada said in the Prabhupada was preaching in the Western countries, mostly predominated by Christian religion, he would say, you go to church on Sunday and confess. In the church, actually, there is a confession chamber. Behind the curtain, the pastor will sit. And in the window, you go and say, Father, I have done this, I am very guilty of this. I apologize for this, I have done. Last week I did this. Sunday, one goes and confesses in the church. There is a process like this. Then after he confesses and comes back, Sunday is over. Monday onwards he continues what he has done from the previous week. The next week again he goes and confesses. So atonement, then what kind of atonement is the right atonement? Sakran mana Krishna padharavindayoho niveshitam tad gunaragi yairiha. So one has to niveshita, one has to place, one has to completely surrender to that Krishna's lotus feet. Therefore, Prabhupada quotes that from the multiple scriptures. He says from Bhagavatam, how it is, Bhagavad Gita, how it is again and again, it is said about surrender into Krishna will save you from the greatest risk. Nehabhi karmanashosi pratyavayo na vidyate salpamapyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. Now the interesting part of this verse today we are discussing is, you should note, it is said, although not having fully realized Krishna, it's all talking about us, sadhakas. We are chanting Krishna's holy name. We want to become a pure devotee of the Lord. We want to practice and we want to go back to Krishna. Although having not fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto his lotus feet, once he decided, I am surrendering to Krishna and given up everything, have become attracted to his name, form, qualities or pastimes. Once you got attracted to Krishna's name, Krishna's beautiful transcendental form, Krishna's transcendental qualities, Krishna's beautiful pastimes, little bit if you get attracted, they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. This is the best kind of prayaschita. Prayaschita, best kind of prayaschita is to once at least surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada says, once, one life, so many lives you have led. So many times. One life you tell Krishna, you leave it for Krishna, I will give it to Krishna, this one life. I have surrendered to Krishna. Don't think you have not explored material life. So many times you have explored material life in every life, but you have forgotten it. Because there is nothing great to remember, hence you have forgotten. Again you want to explore the material life. That is not very encouraged by the acharyas. Once you surrender to Krishna, one life you give. Okay, once you got surrendered to Krishna, then what is the benefit? You see the benefit Bhagavatam saying, Swapnepi pashyanti. Even in the dream, forget about in reality, even in the dream, you do not see Yamaraja and Yama Kinkaras. Those Yama's assistants, you don't see them. Even in the dream, they're very fearful. Seeing their form itself is very fearful. So you need not to see. So devotees need not to see Yamaraja. Even if they see Yamaraj, they will see Yamaraj. They may see Yamaraj. Because Yamaraj is a pure devotee of Krishna. You will see him with the very pleasant, beautiful devotee form. You don't see them as see him as a judge who will punish you and all those things. This is a promise Krishna is giving. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Swapnepi pashyanti. Even the dream you will not get. So now we understand what great fortune Prabhupada has brought in our life. What is the significance of this movement? This bhakti movement, convincing the Jivatmas to surrender to Krishna, this bhakti movement is so important in the society. Otherwise, everybody is going to hell. That is a fact. People do not know. They may accept or don't accept. But at least they do not know what happens to them after that. They just don't know. If they don't know, they should take the version from the scriptures. Or if they know, they can tell us what happens after death. They are not able to tell, but scriptures are telling. And you don't take scriptures only for your convenience. Take full information from the scriptures. What happens to you? So, Prabhupada has many times spoken about greatness of this movement. Okay. So, Prabhupada in one place he said, this movement is very, very valuable. This Krishna consciousness movement is very valuable. Bhakti movement, making people surrender to Krishna, is very valuable. So it is, Prabhupada is saying, because anything is valuable, okay, we are not trying to create a class of men like crows and cats and dogs, but like hamsas. By coming to the teachings of Prabhupada, what are we becoming is like hamsas. Hamsas means swans. They live in the clean water. They, the Paramahamsas, there is a Vedic hamsa which is referred, which takes, if you mix with the water and the milk, it has the ability to take only milk and leave the water. This is a very special Vedic hamsa. So it is compared to that hamsa who will take good things in here, live in the good place, good company, good society. Okay, like that. We are not creating a men like crows, which look for filthy places, cats and dogs, but like hamsas. Of course, it is very difficult. For example, when you try to create some very highly qualified people in this world, MA, Prabhupada is saying, pass boys and girls, their number will be very little. Very highly qualified people will be very less. Because anything valuable, the customer is very little. If you want to sell a jewel in the jewelry shop, hardly you will find one customer in a day or two customers in a day. You see, you sometimes pass by the jewelry shop. How does it look? Empty. Sometimes we wonder how they pay the rent of the shop, how they make business. The entire day they may have one or two customers. But those two customers will pay enough for them. While other side, the roadside, a person has put pani puri shop. So many customers. He has hundreds of customers filled with people. So, if you want to sell a jewel in the jewelry shop, hardly you will find one customer in a day or two customers in a day. But in a beef shop or meat shop, you will find hundreds of. You see? So as soon as thing is valuable, the number of customer will be less. Less people come. So don't consider the quality of good by estimation of number of customers. The customer may be very little, but you should try to understand what is the quality of the thing. So in our Krishna consciousness movement, you will please try to understand what kind of things we are going to deliver. Don't try to understand that these people have no very many customers. Don't think we don't have so many followers, our number of people are less who are coming to our temple. The customers will be less because we have so many restrictions. Anybody come to our temple and we wanted to talk to them about spiritual life, we tell them, the life is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, birth, death, old age, disease. At the time of death, what happens? You should know, you should remember Krishna. So, for a materialistic person, to hear about death is not very pleasant. Even we have experience at our home, you use the word death, mrityu and all. Hey, why are you talking like this? They'll say, don't talk like this. So we are giving an important message which people may like, may not like. So therefore, number of customers or people are less. Customer will be less because we have many restrictions. So people do not like it. Everyone thinks, why I shall be restricted? I shall be free. But actually, he is not free. Everybody is thinking, I am free. Just like a dog thinks he is very free, but he is chained up. Similarly, every one of us are chained by the laws of material nature. We cannot go even an inch beyond the laws of material nature. You cannot eat more than what you can digest. The law of nature immediately will try to inflict punishment upon you. This is a practical experience. Who is free? Are you free? Are you free? You can eat 1,000 gulab jamuns. Your body will restrict you. If you do whatever you want, then you will inflict some diseases. You will come under the control. So, this is called Avarnatmika Shakti of Maya, which makes us think we are happy. Like a hog, the pig, is eating all filthy things, thinking I am very happy. Dog, thinking I am very happy, though it's chained, not allowed to run around and move freely, thinking I am very happy. What is making the hog or dog to think I am happy? That Shakti of Maya is called Avarnatmika Shakti, the covering potency. The Jiva's intelligence is covered. I am thinking, I am happy. Prabhupada went to the Western countries in 1960s and he saw the tall building apartments, houses there. He said, these are like pigeonholes. The pigeonholes, like that people are living, one above the another, one above the another. You're sitting above somebody's toilet is there. And all such But what is making us think, I am so happy? That's called Avarnatmika Shakti. You might have read a news about 10 days back. In a city, Indore in India, hundreds of people got hospitalized. Some dozens of people passed away, some small children. What happened was, a contractor who was doing the water connections, water supply to the city. He has digged the drainage. The drainage water has mixed with the fresh water. And that has gone to water tank, and then people had it. And so many children, so many people died by drinking the toilet water in the city. So, but we are thinking it's so nice. It's the city life, and so the pigeonholes, and people sell their properties and buy an apartment. What is making people think this is so nice? That Shakti is called Avarnatmika Shakti. Because of that, everything is nice. How to make it more nice? Oh, if there is something in Bhagavad Gita, let us take from there to make our life more nice. Oh, if something is good in a Western philosophy, let us take that. Let us some scientific advancement, let us take that. That's why they say, from everywhere you should take good things and use it in your life to make it nice. So, but the message of Bhagavad Gita is different. Bhagavatam is different. Krishna, Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. Surrender to Krishna's lotus feet. If you don't do that, then you have to suffer. But if you do that, you're freed. You don't need to do anything. Devotees are always happy. In all conditions, they are happy. Jivava Marava. Whether you die, whether you live, whether devotee in all conditions, they are happy because they simply surrender to Krishna. So, once, people are generally wanted to know whether they will become happy or not happy. Then difficult situation, they go to an astrologer and say, what is my future? Whether I will be happy, what happens to me? So there is one Prabhupada's pastime. This is about a devotee who went to an astrologer. He says, a devotee name is Vilasa Prabhu, Vishala Prabhu, Vishala Das. He says, I was having trouble with Rahu planet for 18 years, meaning in the astrological chart, there is a Rahu's influence. Rahu's influence makes your mind dull and all the bad things come. 18 years. I think 9 or 10 more years to go. I went to an astrologer in Vrindavan and he told me to wear a yantra. Some yantra you should wear. So when I came to the gate to Krishna Balaram temple, who would greet me there? But Brahmananda Maharaj, a devotee, he said, what are you wearing? I said, I'm wearing a yantra. I just came from an astrologer. He said, this will counteract the influence of bad stars. So Brahmananda's reply was, Prabhupada says, you don't have to add anything to this process. So I said, well, I want to speak with Srila Prabhupada. He said, no need to do anything, Prabhupada. But he said, I want to speak to Prabhupada. So he set up a time and Srila Prabhupada asked me about the astrologer. So he asked the detail. Then he said, how much did he charge you? Who he was? All that Prabhupada asked. And I mentioned, I said, Srila Prabhupada, I was wearing it because I thought it would help me to become more Krishna conscious. So he has also put good logic. If I wear this, I'll become more. It is helping me to advance in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada quoted verse, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. He said whole shloka, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Prabhupada said, if you just surrender to Krishna, Krishna with a slight kick can annihilate 1 lakh Rahu planets. So, Krishna with a slight kick can annihilate 1 lakh Rahu planets. Then I still wasn't exactly sold on it. So I said, Srila Prabhupada, your spiritual master, he was a great astrologer. Prabhupada cut me off real quick and then he said, But he did it for a short time. After that, I cut the yantra off my neck and tossed it somewhere in Vrindavan. I don't care where it is. So he thrown it off. Dr. Prabhupada said, by Krishna's slight kick, 1 lakh Rahu planets will be smashed. So this is the process we are in. See what Srila Prabhupada has given us is, you need not worry what is astrology says, what is your future says, what is your karma, past karma is. Nothing you need to worry. Just Krishna, Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So wonderful life of Krishna consciousness. So this is the message of Shukadeva Goswami, that if you do this, even in your dream, Yamaraja and Yamadhutas will not come. And promise from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. With this we will conclude. Gunakara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.